Hello everyone, welcome to SAP Technomaniac. In this video, we will see what all are the ways we can call the AMDP procedures and the functions. Second thing, we will see that the parameter interface exchange between the ABAP and the SQL script. As you know, ABAP we have importing, exporting and changing parameter. But SQL script have in, out and in-out parameter. One more important thing, in-out parameter can accept only the scalar values. It can't accept the tabular values, but ABAP we can pass in the changing parameter table as well. How it will be handled, how we can call the AMDP procedures and functions. So you know already from my previous videos, we have already discussed about the basics of the AMDP procedures and CDS table functions also we discussed in my previous videos. So AMDP procedure in ABAP, it will be called like normal ABAP method. There is no difference, and if you are calling in day-to-day programming in your report, it will be called like normal class method. And when you want to access CDS table function, you can access directly at the read position of the SQL, your SQL statement, where you write the, instead of putting the table name, you can just write the your CDS table function name. You can get the data from that CDS table function. That's a very normal. But the second thing, if you want to call the AMDP procedures and the function from the AMDP procedures and function itself, how you can call another AMDP procedures and another functions. Recursive call not possible in the AMDP procedures and function, but if you want to call another AMDP procedures and function, how you can call? So simple syntax, you have to write the SQL script code. Obviously in the SQL script call, how we can call the another procedure, same way we have to use class, then arrow sign button, and we have to give the method name, and importing exporting parameter is normal. These are the syntax. And if you want to call the CDS table function at the read position, how you are giving the table name, instead of table name you have to give the class method of that AMDP function implementation, and you can call that also. That is the syntax of the SQL script language. Apart from these two places, one is the ABAP and second is the inside the AMDP procedures and function as well, we can call this AMDP procedures and function at the database level also. As you know, in the database level, they have their own language, SQL script, they write their own procedures and the functions. Inside those procedures and functions, they can call our AMDP procedures and function as well if required. But SAP not recommended them to use the ABAP related, which is procedures and functions, which is created by AMDP framework. They should not use there for local purpose, because they will be handled from the ABAP itself. SAP Web IDE for SAP HANA means where we develop our calculation views, analytical views and those kind of stuff directly in SAP HANA development environment. There we can also see that AMDPs are visible and we can change those AMDPs as well. But we should not change there. Why we should not change? As soon as you change there, when we call those AMDP functions and procedures from the ABAP environment, by the runtime of the ABAP environment, those will be replaced again, whatever you have done the changes. So there will be no impact from ABAP side, but if they have used, then their changes will not be stable and that will be overwritten. So that's a very important thing. Apart from this calling of the AMDP procedures and functions from the different places, from the ABAP, from another AMDP procedure and function, like these are the not recommended way. You can call from another database procedure, but you should not call or you should not change also. These are the things are there. One more important thing, the syntax check. When we write the code in the AMDP, the syntax check will be done. It will be similar how when we write the procedures and function in the SAP HANA, that same syntax check will be applied here as well. There will be no difference apart from one thing, because whenever we write the code in ABAP, we will use the asterisk sign to comment the code. So those old asterisk sign will be replaced by the double hyphen sign. When this database procedures and functions managed by ABAP will be saved in the database, those asterisk sign will be replaced by hyphens. If you see those those procedures and the functions which is managed by ABAP in the HANA database. If you go and see, then you will see there is no asterisk sign, that got replaced by double hyphen. The last thing, the parameter interface. So as I told you, in the SQL script procedures, we have the in, out and in, out parameter. In, out parameter in the SQL script, they support only the scalar type of in, out parameter. They will not support the table kind of the in, out parameter. SQL script not support the in, out parameter type of the table. And our ABAP, we have importing, exporting and changing, which can be table and scalar both. So how it will be interchanged, as you can see on screen, importing parameter will be converted to in parameter, exporting will be converted to out parameter, but changing parameter, if we are passing from the ABAP, it is a scalar type, then no issue, it will be converted into the in, out parameter. But changing parameter, if we pass some table in the changing parameter, that will be not directly converted to in, out. Instead of that, there will be two variable, which in and out two parameter will be there for that particular changing table parameter. Out parameter will be having the same name which we have defined in the ABAP, but the in parameter will be having that name plus underscore in underscore they will add, then they will create another variable. When we execute the AMDP procedures, those kind of AMDP procedure where we having the changing parameter as a tabular parameter, that time that particular changing parameter will be copied to in and out, and then the procedure will be executed on the database level. So how it will be, this is the way when we call the procedures and functions from the ABAP, it will be converted. One more important thing we will see, when we call the another AMDP procedure inside some AMDP procedure, that time if we have the changing parameter, we have to make sure we have to use two parameter, in and out, with the same name. Out will be the same name, and in parameter will have to add underscore in underscore. That we will see in the system. So let's jump into system to explain how we can call one AMDP procedure inside another AMDP procedure, and how the changing parameter will behave, the table type changing parameter. I have created two things. This is simple report where we will pass one select option, we will pass the sales order. Inside those sales order, I want to update some G fields. So what G fields I want to update? So I just want to show you. So let me open VBAK table. So if I do F8, let me deselect all, just select whatever require VBAK and ZZ. I just want to select this, no, ZZ, yeah. So data preview. So I just want to update this G field. I don't want to update some standard field. I just want to update this G field. What all are the sales order I want to pass? I will pass those sales order should update this G field. And before what was displayed, and after changing what is the value that I want to change through AMDP. For that purpose, I have created this AMDP class. I have used this marker DB interface to handle the ranges. I have created this table type, and I just want to get these two values. So I have created this table type. So what I will do, first let me create simple method, or I can say class method. So I can call directly if I want, and I want to import, I want to use importing. I want to give first name. It should be update username or user, something you can give, no need to give that. Control Z, importing. So to value, first we always get the client field, because client handling not done inside the AMDP implicitly, we have to do explicitly. So for that purpose, type of MANDT or SCI MNDT. And second field, I want to get this range, whatever the program is passing. For that, I will use IV IT range VBLN. This is importing parameter again. This should be type of, since I can't use structure type table, so I will use this table type, TT range table. So if you see this range table, F2, if you do here, so there are sign option low and high, so it will get the values from the select option easily. This is the one of the way we can handle the select option. There is another way also, that also I will show you in upcoming video. So in this video I just want to show you basic form of the, if one or two select, how you can handle. And I want to use exporting, and the value exporting, I want to get two values. First, before, et underscore before. So this is exporting parameter, et underscore before. This should be type of this tt under ty underscore tt underscore VBAK. There will be two field only, and let me do Control Alt arrow down button, and this will be after instead of before. After. So I want to get before changing values and after changing values also from the AMDP itself. Let me implement this method, create implementation. So what I will do, I have to convert this particular simple method to AMDP procedures. So you have to use by database, and you have to use procedure for HANA database, and language will be, okay, I did Control Z. So I will use here by database procedure for HANA database, and language will be SQLSCRIPT. So this, like this we can maintain. So first I want to get the data before the, what is the current data in the VBAK. For that purpose I have to use select statement. So I have to fill this ET before. So for filling ET before, Control V. So what I have to do, select two field, I have to get VBLN and comma this GZ, this username, Control C. From where I have to get, from VBAK, and where I have to put where condition, and obviously I'm using VBAK, otherwise I will get the error. So I have to use VBAK because this VBAK belong to the same schema. So now first I have to filter based on the mandate field that's required, and this is the usually we have to pass the mandate. And if we are calling some CDS views or some other AMDP which uses the CDS views, then we have to use AMDP option CDS client, and there we have to make sure that we are passing CDS client instead of normal client. So mandate underscore IV underscore mandate. So it will be this one, Control C. To access the importing and exporting parameter, we have to use colon, and one more condition I have to put, and second I have to pass the VBLN. So this is the one of the way how we can pass the select option inside the select options and inside the select. So how to pass, just you have to put, I have to get VBLN in. It will be not like ABAP, we can use for all entries. So instead of for all entries, what we can do, we can get the select low from this internal table, whatever we are using, Control space you will do. So in this case, IT range VBLN, whatever the low value it is coming, that you will get. Let me increase little bit this one, and that you can pass. One or select out, two or select option is there, you can handle like this. No need to, there is one another way, I will show you in upcoming videos. So this is the way we can handle. So we got the data ET before, there is some error is there, some table variable is not assigned, so ET after is not assigned, it is telling. So that the data will be same, Control C, because it's not optional, always all the parameters are mandatory, so we have to assign some value. So that is the reason we are getting error. Control V, instead of ET before, this will be ET after. In between we have to change the data. I did the changes, so I got the two things. In between, what I have to do, I have to update this GZ username in the database table. how to update. So now you can know, not only we can use AMDP procedures to get the data from the database, we can change the data also. So what we can, I want to do update, I want to do update VBAK and set the, for updating, there is little bit syntax change because it's a SQL script. Set ZZ username, Control C, with any value you want to set, you can set. Currently I just want to set with ABAP on HANA, something you can give, ABAP HANA or something you can give. So let me see the field length of this one, F2. This is corrected 12 only, so I have to use appropriate 1 2 3 4 ABAP HANA. That's not much lengthy, so no need to worry. Set this particular username. I have to pass again this same condition where the client is this one. I want to change for the current client only, and for this particular sales order only. Same condition you have to pass, no need to worry. Shift F1. Before changing, I will get the data inside this one, and after changing I will get the data inside this one. This is the way. So how we are done. Let me do Control F3. What I will do, I will call this particular AMDP method inside my class where I'm using the select option of this one. So what, let me do one, just simply call this particular AMDP exams consumption class, control space. There is one method, shift enter. You can pass the SI mandate over here, AMDT, whatever your current client, and this will be your select options. Since it is the table, so you have to pass the table and you have to get two data. Control shift greater than, you can do inline declaration, the data IT before and the data IT after. Control C, Control V after. Okay. There is some error. What is the error? SI mandate I have to pass. So this is giving me error, and I want to display both the tables. So I will use CL underscore demo underscore output class, and I will use the display method of, first I will write, because I have two tables. So first I will write the IT before table, and then finally I will display the data. So Control Alt arrow down button, and this time I have to display, sorry, don't mingle up everything. So here we have to use dot, but here to end the any statement, here we have to use the semicolon, and we have to use here dot. So these are the things you have to make sure, because this is SQLSCRIPT and this is ABAP. So that's a very important thing when we are doing the things IT after. So let debug also what we are getting the data. Let me activate this one, Control F3, and let me do Control F3 also here and see some data before and after. Suppose I will pass this one, Control C, and you can double click and copy also. Control 2 and 3 I will pass. Currently the data is not changed in the database, and let me put this one here and let me execute this one, Control F3, and let me execute this one, F8. I put the breakpoint. I think AMDP debugger will trigger. F8. So AMDP debugger got triggered. Before that we have to pass some values. So I will pass the, as I told you, 001. As I saw, there is no value. So let me execute this shared AMDP consumption. So AMDP debugger got triggered. So now what I will do, here F5 not work, F6 will work. There is you can see here there is no data in IT before and after, but we have the client value as a 200, and we have the data in the IT range table. There is one entry. You can see we pass the select option as a 1 as of now. But this is not the not way you are getting the low only. You see it is just to explaining purpose, this is the not way you have to handle the select options like this, because I have selected, because I know that I will pass always low value. Suppose I pass some range or something like that, then this is the not correct way at all to handle the select values. So just to explain how to handle select options, that I will show you in next video. So this is, you should not use this kind of things in your real-time development. Why? Because currently I know I will always pass low. Suppose I have passed the low and high, or suppose I have passed some range of VBLN. So you can't code everything over here. To handle that one, how to handle those kind of things, I will show you in my next video. So this is ET underscore before. I got this data low. So let me do F6. I got the data here in ET before. You can see one data is there. If you double click over here, I got the data, and the currently username is ZZ, username is Z ABAP 3. Let me do F6. I updated the data. Let me do F6. Let me see ET underscore after. So you can see it got updated to the ABAP HANA. Previously it was ZZ ABAP 3. It got updated to ABAP HANA. Let me do F8. So you can see previously the value was Z ABAP 3, and now it converted to ABAP HANA. Let me switch to ABAP perspective and see refresh this table. First filter out what I have passed. Actually I have passed 1, not 2 or 3. So that is the reason I thought, let me filter out, quick filter, or you can put filter from here as well, 8 filter VBLN, and you can pass the values, Control V here. This time since I passed 1, so you can see that it got changed to 1. So if you pass 2 also, before value and after value without, so deactivate debugger in the Eclipse, you can just have to click this symbol, skip all breakpoint. This is the name is there. If you click this one, this is another tip of this video, it will not trigger the debugger at all when you execute your program. This is again when you don't want to debugger, you put a lot of places in your program, a lot of breakpoints, and you don't want to trigger that debugger. So you just have to click here and just execute your program. It will not trigger breakpoints. So you can see previously it was no value, now it converted to ABAP HANA. Let me refresh the tables and show you. You can refresh from here. So you can see for that I have to put 2. Initially there was no value, now it was having ABAP HANA. Like that we can update the data, but I want to call this particular AMDP method in another AMDP processor in another AMDP processor. So for that purpose, since we are updating the data in the database, make me this particular method as a private method, and let me give some username underscore P and Control V, Shift F1. So, and let's change this method name underscore P only. So this will be the private method. Now this private method, I want to call this particular private method in this public method, since I don't want to expose the data. This is the OOPS concept again. This is the one way to consume one AMDP method to another AMDP method. Another way can be that you can create another AMDP class and consume this class to this. Both are the same way. So both are the same things. Just to explaining the concept, I called here as itself. So what I will do, Control 1, I will implement this method also. A method update, Control space, update user. I want to an end method. Shift F1. So I have implemented this method. Otherwise I can click Control 1 also. I can do that. Is not an different way, but this is just quicker way, that one. And if you have a lot of methods and all, and what you can do now, I want to convert this method also as a AMDP processor. So by database procedures, and I want to call for HANA SQLSCRIPT language. And this time what I will do, I will call the method. Which method I will call? I want to call this method, this one. From you have to mention the class name is still Control C, and you have to use double comma, and you have to do controls to convert the I selected to convert lowercase to uppercase. You have to use Control Shift X in Eclipse, so it will convert lowercase to uppercase, and Control Space I can do. It will, the help is available. I want to call the private method, and Shift Enter you will do. The magic will happen. You no need to remember the syntax and all. You can see the everything. I can see the data. But one more important thing is that I have to pass this mandate. So I will pass same mandate which we are getting from the importing parameter, because importing and exporting parameter name I didn't change. So I pass same thing over here. Here also I will pass Control C, Control V, and Control Shift greater than. Control Shift greater than will not work here. As I told you, this dot star, whatever we comment, we do the comment line, that star will convert it to double hyphen. Let me remove this double hyphen from here to uncomment the lines, and let me put ET before. Control C, Control V. Let me put this final ET after as well. Control C, Control V. I have called this method. The first error I am getting, this is unknown. Since this is updated in same schema, we have to use after using. So this is the one thing we have to remember. Whatever you are using, whichever the method you are using, that you have to use after you're using. I'm using this particular class, the method, to say. Why we have to say this thing? Because if some constructor method is there before this is calling this method, then the constructor method of that method will be called, or class constructor is there, that method will be called, because it's again oops only, and then this particular method will be called. So for that, for telling those all the things we have to mention, we are using this particular method. If some constructor is there, that should be called before calling this particular method. So inside this we have called this one, Shift F1. One more thing I want to explain changing parameter. So let me change into, instead of exporting, let me put in changing parameter. Control Z. In this way, we didn't get any error. So you saw everything is fine. We did the consumption. Let me Control F3 and let me do consume this particular, and I will show you the changing parameter as well. In this case, we didn't get anything, and we are happy because we are passing this parameter to here and we are getting the data from here. If you want to put again breakpoint, okay, let me activate this one, Control F3, and then I have to put the breakpoint. AMDP break currently updated. Please wait to process the completed. Okay, let me remove this one. To trigger the breakpoint, just I have removed this one. Okay. Shift F1, Control F3. Oh, sorry, I put wrong place. So now I have put the breakpoint correct place. So let me close it out and call this program again. And I have removed this one, skip all breakpoint. If you want to put again or you want to remove, you can remove. This time again breakpoint will trigger, and AMDP debugger will trigger. Before that we have to pass some value. So I want to show you some of the values. Suppose I have passed 3. Inside the 3 you can see there is blank value. So as of now I'm passing single value. Multiple values I will pass, it will not work here. I would have used parameter instead of select option. No use of the select option. So this you have to make sure this is not the way we have to handle the select options. I will tell you how to handle select option in my next video. Okay, let me execute this one. You can see first AMDP method got triggered. Let me do F5. F5 will not work here. We have to do F6. And you can see internally this called this one. Again same thing, before data we got. In the before the username is blank, as we saw in the data preview also. I have updated after data. Let me show you after data as well. You can see we have updated ABAP HANA. And let me do F8 and switch to ABAP perspective. So you can say before and after data got displayed. So let me close it out. So like that we can display. Last but Very important thing, suppose I would have used the, instead of exporting parameter, suppose I would have used the changing parameter. Changing parameter. Okay, let me do step F1. This again got wrong. So let me, if you use help also, just I want to show you control. What I will do, control space I will do, and I will call the this one, shift enter I will do. Again I got those same value. Let me pass the value. Even I have converted to the changing parameter. Let me pass this again, these values again, control V. But this time one thing is very important. IV mandate, control space, IT range, control space, IT before, ET before and ET after. Since still we have passed the data, but still we are getting the error. What error we are getting? You can see the wrong number of types and parameter call ET before it is not bound. So any error you got in the AMDP processor, you might be not able to see entire error over here. You have to double click here, you have to go to the error, and you have to right click over here, and the problem description you have to click. It will give you the exact error, what error you are getting. So basically what it is telling, that you can see, so ET before and ET after you are calling, create procedure, this one, IT out parameter is this one. Let me see the changing I have created, and I have called this one. Okay, check the update user. In the update user, wrong number of type of parameter called in the ET before in. So it is telling something like that, ET before underscore underscore, it is not bound. Means you didn't pass some value in this one. You have to pass the values of this parameter as well. It is expecting some more things to pass. Even we didn't declare anything in our this private section, we have declared one changing parameter. As I told you, whenever you create changing parameter as a tabular parameter, it will convert it to the two values. One is the normal values, ET before and ET after, and two more parameter we have to pass. One will be the control C, control V underscore IN underscore. This will be the description, and that you have to pass. Again the same value before, control C, control V, and like this you have to pass. And one more thing, this is single this is double underscore, not single double. Single double hyphen we have to pass. If you see this one, this is double hyphen. I have corrected this one, shift F1. So let me see the again. So IN I have passed. I have to pass for this also. After also, let me copy this one, control C. Still I am getting the error. ET after underscore in is not bound. You can see, you can copy this variable. You have to bound this variable also. So you have to pass one more parameter, ET underscore after underscore underscore IN underscore underscore. So you have to pass all the importing together and exporting together. That is the reason I have passed control C, and I have to pass like this, control V and semicolon. No, not semicolon, comma. So I hope so now we should not get error. So you can see the error got removed. Shift F1. Shift F1 you can do, control F3, or you can select and then you can do shift F1. Okay, now you can say we have passed to extra parameter here. Since our changing parameter is a tabular parameter, it got converted when this particular private method got created in the database. It got converted into the two parameter. One is the underscore in, that is importing parameter, and this is exporting parameter, because SQL script not support the tabular changing parameter. These all are converted in, and this is converted in out. This is converted in and this is converted in out. So changing, there is in out only support scalar values, not the tabular values, that I have explained in the theory part only also. What I will do, just to show the result, let me take one more thing. Let me put 4. There is some, so you can see there is no value in the 4. So what I will do, I will execute again, control F3. Let me do F8. let me pass 4 instead of 3, 4, and let's just execute. I would have deactivated the debugger. I didn't deactivate it, so it's okay, fine. So since the I think code didn't get activated, so you can see up and down buttons are there. Let me do F8. So previously blank name, now it converted to ABAP HANA. Let me switch to ABAP perspective, deactivate this one, and just refresh this data. So you can see it got converted. Let me show you one more thing, 5, and that is also blank. And this time let me activate Control F3, and let me activate this also, Control F3. Just to Control F3. There is no error now. I deactivated the debugger, skip all breakpoints. Let me simply execute this particular program without, again, I didn't execute it. It's not reloaded the program. That is the reason. F8, I did. And let me pass this time 5 instead of 4. And this time debugger will not trigger and we will get directly values. Previously it was blank, now it converted to ABAP HANA. Let me just go to the data preview and refresh it out. See, it got converted. So this is the way I try to explain how to call one AMDP processor in another AMDP processor, and how the importing, exporting and changing parameter behave when we call some another AMDP processor. And in next video I will explain that how to handle the select options. This is not the correct way we can handle the select options. I just want to show you something. If you want to use for all entries like this instead of the select options, you can use instead of for all entries. If you want to use some values, you can get the data and you can pass. This is the replacement of the for all entries, that I can say, but not the replacement of the select option, because select options have low, high ranges and all the things that we can't code everything here. But SAP have given us one way to handle the select options that we will discuss in next video. Before going to that video, please like this video, subscribe this channel and share these videos with others as well, so they can also learn. Thank you and happy learning.